I've got some packages. Got some packages in today. Some packages are just stuff I bought online through Marktplaats and through one of the game shops here in Holland. And I got a special package from a friend, and that will be the last thing we look at. Let's dig in. While I'm recording this, another package came in, which I ordered through eBay. And open this up. This is such a great knife. It's from AliExpress. It's really small and really sharp. And it's a Guerrilla Strike by the infamous Phoenix. And it's top-down helicopter shooter. And I triggered this on eBay after I saw Telespiel Toby's last pickup video. He got this on a con somewhere. I don't know exactly which one, but he showed it off, and I commented, "Oh, this looks like an interesting game." And I looked it up, and it was dirt cheap. He got it dirt cheap as well. So this is really interesting. I'm gonna give this a spin in due time. But thanks, Toby, for making me spend money. The first package that I opened, Shenmue 1 and 2, the new re-release of the two games, and on the PlayStation 4. And yeah, it's Shenmue high res. I can say I was a big fan back in the Dreamcast days, because I bought my Dreamcast on launch day in 1999. And I had Shenmue. I sold it when I moved out of my parents' house. So I'm going to give this another try and see if I now am able to complete this, at least part 1. The second game that I got, and another Phoenix game somehow. This is actually a Phoenix compilation. How bad can it get? But yeah, it is a compilation of different Phoenix games. It was dirt cheap. That's the only reason why I bought it. 2 discs of Phoenix Glory. Who doesn't want to play this? Well, it's in my collection right now, so I can if I want to torture myself. Well, I'm a sub and a fan of the PlayStation Sanctuary YouTube channel, and the guy that's running the channel is Jimmy, and Jimmy is a really passionate PlayStation fan and collector. He has a really large US collection and Japanese collection, and is looking to make his PAL PlayStation collection bigger as well. So I had a bunch of doubles, and he had a really large chunk of Japanese doubles. So we met up through email and came up with the idea to send each other a package with stuff. So I sent in a lot of PAL stuff, and he sent me a lot of Japanese stuff. So my package is still on its way to him, but the package he sent to me has arrived. So yeah, let's open up and see what's in it. I already unpacked everything. I got everything out of the box, and we're gonna run through the games one by one. First thing that I found in the box were these memory cards. There were a bunch of them. This has a Bomberman sticker on it. It's a Japanese 15 block card, and this is a 60 block card with a switch, so you can switch between block pages. And this one he showed on the channel not too long ago. This is the transparent smoky one. It's really cool. Thanks for that. Let's go to the games. Let's start with all the boxed games. These boxed games I put on a list, on a sort of a want list. things that I wanted to trade with him, but he threw in a bunch of extra stuff, so let's see what it got. First off, Bushido Blade. This game was on the list. This is actually one of my favorite games from back when I was a teenager, and it is a fighting game. It's a fighting game where you have to fight with dignity and honor. So it's very technical as well. You have different stances which you can use to defeat your enemy, but one hit is one kill. So if you have a straight hit, then you kill your opponent immediately. So it could be over in one hit, and that makes it really interesting. I didn't like Bushido Blade 2 that much. This is still the game that I like the most and remember the most. So great to have it finally in the collection, because I was playing on a copy for most of my my late teens and early 20s. Put this aside. I'll make a stack here. Nagano 98. Also on my list. As you know, I like sports games, especially winter sports for some weird reason. And this game I was still missing from my PlayStation or my Saturn collection. So it is in now, so happy, happy, joy, joy. This is one of the Simple 1500 games. This is volume 18, it's the bowling game. And yeah, it's a bowling game. And as it says, Simple 1500, it's not very complicated. I'll probably make a gameplay video out of this. This is an American version of Tiger Woods 99 PGA Tour Golf, and this game has a special story. This disc has a extra layer, a sector on the disc, which contains a video CD version of a South Park episode. And if you put it in a computer and somehow find the file, you can play a South Park video. But as this has a everybody rating, and South Park isn't for everybody, I guess, they changed it up and put a different version on the market, which makes this a very special edition. So thank you for that. Sidewinder USA. This is a arcade flight game or something like that. I haven't tried it yet, but I was really curious. It was on my list as well. Player Spirit, something Player Spirit, as you can see. Also a flight game. Really interested to see what it is exactly, but this was missing from the collection as well, so I have it now. Derby Stallion. This is one of those horse betting and breeding and playing games. Put this on the list out of curiosity. I have a couple of these games for Saturn as well, so let's see what it is. I have to try it out. Well, everybody knows this one. This is Gran Turismo, the first version. Now I have the Japanese version as well. Jinsai Game 2 DX, or the Game of Life in Japanese. I put this on the list as well. Seems like a fun thing to check out and see if you can actually play it in Japanese. But Xi or XI is a puzzle game. Looks pretty interesting as well, with dice and stuff like that. There's different modes as you can see here. I know Jimmy had quite a bunch of copies of this, so he threw in one extra for me as well. Actual Ice Hockey. That really triggered my curiosity as well, because this isn't released in the US, only in Europe and in Japan for some weird reason. I understand why they released it in Europe, as Scandinavia is a big part of the hockey community, so to say. But you would think that they would release it in North America as well, due to the NHL, but they didn't. I played the football game quite a lot back in the day. I wouldn't say it's the best football game, so I'm wondering how good this ice hockey game is actually. But it looks pretty decent, so they probably use the same engine as a football game. Fighting Illusion K1 Grand Prix is a K1 game, and K1 is a fighting sport. It's a combination of kickboxing and it's basically kickboxing more or less. And it's quite a popular thing in Holland. Kickboxing is quite popular in Holland, so K1 was a thing you would see on TV quite often actually, so it's quite a popular sport over here. I'm not a giant fan, but I know my way around it a little bit, and I put this on the list out of curiosity as well. Zero Divide 2. As you have seen in the previous pickup video from the London Expo, I picked up Zero Divide 1, the PAL version, and now I have the sequel as well, with the spine card, so I'll put that here. I do not have many games with spine cards for PlayStation, and most of my Saturn games have spine cards, but this is a PlayStation game with a spine card, so really cool. Cool Borders 2, I have Cool Borders 1 and 4 I think, and I just received Cool Borders 3 in the mail this morning. And yeah, I like Cool Borders. There we go. Golf Master 2000. You bet it's a golf game with, I don't know if these are fictional characters. They certainly look like fictional characters. But yeah, let's check that out as well. Dragon Quest VII. I didn't put this on the list, but he threw it in. And I love Dragon Quest. I have some versions on DS and some on PlayStation Portable, I think. I have a bunch of them. And I have on PlayStation 2, I have Dragon Quest. Which one is that? Let me see. Oh, I can't find it right now, but I think that is either 8 or I don't know. I have a PlayStation version as well, PlayStation 2 version as well. Cool, thanks man. And Gundam Generation 0, G0. And this is SD Gundam, so that's the more cartoony version of Gundam, which I like quite a lot. And most of these games are turn-based strategy games. This looks to be an action game actually, so I'm quite curious to check this out. Final Fantasy VIII. This was the... Here's a loose disc, I think. Yeah. It's complete. And I don't have 8. Yeah, I have 8 for in PAL as well. But he threw it in. Really cool. Now I have the Japanese version of this game as well. And there's a second copy of Sidewinder USA. This has a little bit of a beat up box, but everything is in there, so thank you. And a second copy of Tiger Woods 99. I put a elastic band around it because it has different barcode, so this is probably a different version, so I would curious to check out what's the difference. So if this is actually the one without or with the South Park episode, or bit of a South Park episode. And the last game of the boxed games is Final Fantasy VII, and I have this for sure in PAL, and now I have a Japanese version. So, am I missing something? Yeah. And the last boxed game is Beatmania, the DJ simulation game. I have a PAL version. I have the controller here as well, somewhere. I don't know where it is. And this one has a pen disc, which is more or less extra tunes to DJ on. And I have all the Beatmania games and all the append versions as well. This will be the version I will use to play it actually. So, and I didn't put it as on the list, but he threw it in as well. So, thanks so much. Let's check the next set of games he threw in. And these are games that I have either a manual or a back cover or both, but don't have dual blocks. So it's something 7. I have to check this out, what this actually is. Oh, there's a back cover, of course, so I can check it out a little bit. Oh, that doesn't say really that much. We'll have to just look at it, I guess. It's Momotaro Dentetsu 7. So you know. The next game is a Super Light 1500 game by Success. And it's a tile board game simulation, I guess. Doesn't say too much. Could be a sort of Stratego or something else. Doesn't look like Mahjong, but yeah, cool. The Japanese version of Ridge Racer. Super cool. I love Ridge Racer. Here we go. We can go straight to the back cover. It's probably easier. No English whatsoever here. But it looks like a flight sim game with jet fighters, but also airliners or propeller motor planes. So something. And this looks familiar. Kotobuki Grand Prix 2. Oh, Grand Prix. And it's a racing game, a cartoony kart-like racing game. So, on the next game, it's a sports game. It's a mixed sports. Kiniku Banzuki Volume 1. Yes, we'll have to try. Ardink Best Choice, and it's a baseball game. Doko Demo Isiu. Here, Doko Demo Isiu. Isio. That is the PlayStation Pocket game, I think. I still have to add that to the collection. I'm probably gonna pick that up on eBay at one point and import it straight away. Another copy. 2 copies of that game. It feels like 2 discs of G Generation Zero, I think. Oh no, just G Generation premium disc. Thank you. Another copy of something 7. Multiple discs. Oh no, there's a manual in it as well. So some of these games have manuals, others don't. Macross Digital VFX. I have this one already complete, but this is also a complete copy. So a Koei game. Kuroyuki. It's the typical historically accurate RTS game, or probably turn-based. Century. This is also an SD Gundam game. Yeah, SD Gundam G Century. It is definitely an action game. So, as you can imagine, I'm not familiar with all these games because I have around 250 PlayStation games as it is, but I'm certainly not completely up to date with everything that came out in Japan. Because Tetris X, I hope this is better than Tetris S on Saturn, because that sucked. This looks at least a bit better. Another Gundam game. This is G Generation G. Oh, there's no disc here. So these are the disc and manual for the double disc that's in this stack. So One Piece Grand Battle 2. This looks really interesting. This is a One Piece fighting game. Pseudo 3D fighting game. That is totally awesome. That's a thing I'm gonna put aside because I'll have to play that right away. I have to see what this is. Super cool. J-League 1999. It's a Konami football game. So it probably plays a little bit like Pro Evolution Soccer. We'll have to wait and see. I'm definitely gonna try that because I'm also into football. Shinki Dusenki Gundam Wing the Battle. And this is a pseudo 3D fighting game in Gundam universe. Well, that's going on the same pile as One Piece because I have to play that immediately. So you know. The Japanese version of Tekken 2. That's super cool because I don't have it in the Japanese version. That's totally awesome. Cut that out. So still a bunch of games to go. This was certainly one of the games on my list because I wanted the Japanese version of this. It's published by Electronic Arts. It's actually official EA Sports game. So looking forward to playing this as well. Putting it on the immediately playing list. Front Mission 3 is also on the list. Very nice. The simple 1500 slot machine game that I gonna try as well. Sidewinder 2, the complete copy without the jewel case. Also probably the follow-up to the Sidewinder USA. I'm not completely sure, but that makes sense. Let's Dance in the Sky. Yeah, let's do that. Put that on the playlist. And those were the not boxed but complete or either with manual or back inlay games. So let's go to the disc only games, which is also quite a large stack. So here we go. Another copy of G Generation 0 SD Gundam. Another simple 1500 game volume 4. This is Othello, I think. Yeah. Man, how many hours did I play Othello on Windows 3.1? Monster Farm. This was on my shortlist for a complete in box version, and he threw in the disc only game, which is really cool. So I can try this and play this. Another copy of Derby Stallion. Something 98. We have to figure out what that is later on. 2 copies of Formula 1, the Japanese version. I am gonna make a special, I think, about all my Formula 1 games. I have so many, and I almost like them all. Nah, I don't like them all, but I like a lot of them. Biohazard. I have also the Japanese version for the Saturn, and that's completely in English, except for the menus and stuff like that. I like to try out if that's the same for the PlayStation version as well. More copies of Something 7. Metal Gear Solid, both discs. Yes, 2-disc. Probably the best game ever created on PlayStation. Bomberman World. I'm familiar with Bomberman Land on PlayStation Portable. Not a big fan of that game, but I have to check out which game this is. Could probably have it in a version or something, but I'm mixing up all the different Bomberman versions I have. I probably have 15 different Bomberman games, and if I don't have this one, I'm probably complete more or less. A game by Victor, but it doesn't ring a bell immediately. But Victor Interactive, so it doesn't ring a bell for now. Check it out. That's QT. Don't know anything about it. It gives us some kind of Sims vibe, but that's all I can say about it. Beatmania. And this is the Club Mix append. So this is an extra disc with club mixes. So I'm definitely gonna check it out. Another copy of Tekken 2. Another copy of Tetris X. And this looks like a simple 1500 game. It's the detective one, but I don't know exactly what it's called. The something. Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles. Super cool. It's released by Capcom. I never knew that. Tactics Ogre. That is a game I'm always interested in, but a little bit afraid to get involved with due to the complexity of the menus and stuff like that. It's a really complex game. Probably need somebody to help you get around the game and get you up to speed. Something Crossworld. Don't know what that is. Something forever with you. This sounds familiar. I know probably there is a Saturn version of this as well, but I never played it, so. Something 2000. This is a baseball game. I have a version of this as well for Saturn, not a 2000 edition because Saturn was way done by that time, I think. But I have to get in this this series because it looks really cool. Battle Arena Toshinden 2. Especially the second edition is a pretty good game. So Game of Life, a second copy of Game of Life DX2. And he threw in some even more games. This is really cool. These are US copies of Final Fantasy Chronicles, which means disc 1 is Chrono Trigger, disc 2 is Final Fantasy 4. And of course I don't have both games for PlayStation. I have Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, and I don't have Final Fantasy 4, so in US, so I can understand it in the US version, so I can understand it, so that's totally cool. And I can finally play them. That is really cool. Disc 1 and 2 of Alone in the Dark. I never played Alone in the Dark, but always been curious of how what it is exactly and how it plays. So this is my opportunity to take a look at it because I don't have the PAL version yet. Digimon Rumble Arena. I'm familiar with the Digimon franchise, but I'm not familiar with this game. It could easily be a fighting game, and I'll have to check it out, of course. So I have a lot to do. I have a lot of games to play. And last but not least, the US Sega Saturn version of Tomb Raider. I don't have a PAL version of that. I do have the Japanese version of it, so now I have the Japanese and the US version, and this one will be, of course, way better playable than the Japanese version. Well, that's it. That's everything that was in the box, and I want to thank Jimmy for sending this stuff to me. I made a short list based on the amount of games I sent him, and he sent me double the amount back. So I feel a little bit guilty, and I'm gonna make a package for him in the near future to get rid of that guilt. And because he sent, additionally, he sent all these disc-only games. And so I want to thank Jimmy again for everything that he sent me, and it was nice talking to you over email as well. If you're into PlayStation 1, you definitely have to see his pickup videos, because it's first of all, he's really knowledgeable about PlayStation. He knows everything. I don't know shit, actually. I just collect games and play them, and most of my knowledge comes from him. If you want to be knowledgeable about PlayStation as well, go to his channel. The link is in the description. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and see you soon on the next video.